Alright, welcome to another edition of GoogleIsEvil. It is evil, censoring the internet, deciding what you're going to be able to view and hear and see, and it's just horrible. And we ought to bring back all the other search engines, okay, and let Google be a marketing company. I mean, its patent, its copyright on AdSense is running out. The competition will exist for its marketing scheme eventually, and its hold over us is not inevitable. It's not unbreakable. If people just have the will, there is a way. It can be fought. The evil can be stopped, but you have to want to do it. Anyway, Google is not your friend. It's just not. It's a marketing company. Come on, people, wake up. Smell the horror. Alright, anyway. So, video. So, since I've been doing this consciousness thing, it's sort of a... it's sort of a facade, sort of a fake way of getting to the real story, but apparently people like that kind of conversation, pretending you're talking about something wooey. To get to something more real, which is just what's the reality of our circumstance. And the reality of our circumstance is we're stupid little robots. We have to gain enough functionality to function in the world. And that the real game isn't how happy am I, but how happy is all the crap, okay, that I'm interacting with. And that's the real test of your performance, is what's the overall impact. Not just what you feel. What you feel is important, but what all the other shit feels is also important. So you have to add it all up. That's how you do the math of your life. So that simple philosophical point has to get veiled in all of this wooey, quantum crap. But anyway, to some extent. Obviously there's some audience that requires all that shit. So anyway, showing that theme, I took the suggestion. Somebody posted a link to a wooer, and so, I played some of the woo. And again, it's probably almost any of this would be of value. Anybody saying anything can be, you can take the words and you can turn them around and twist them about and then say, no, this is what we'll talk about instead. So that's pretty much what I do. So it wouldn't matter what you could be talking about styrofoam cups, and I could probably find something useful in terms of metaphoring and connecting it through some sort of logic into a conversation about you getting more out of your existence. And by getting more, I mean getting more little gold stars, getting more little points, saying you're a good person points. So, yeah, so that's the video. So we'll play some of it, and that'll be your update. So I did do a part 2, okay, to the other video. So I probably could open that in a new tab. The other people talking about consciousness and turning it into a much more complicated conversation than it really is, in my opinion. Blah, 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 blah. So the part 2 is on the website, and such. Guess I don't need to do that. But now I have 2 of the same, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, so we'll jump to a random point in the video and see what's happening. Lifeboats, and we don't have any infrastructure. And alright, so just talking about, we're just stuck with this very complex. Everything we do is complicated. Every action you take, you can't know exactly how it's going to go. Driving to the store, you could kill somebody, or you could kill a murderer and save everybody from a lot of grief. Or, you just don't, we just can't control any of this in any rational way. And all we can do is go by some gross probabilities that, what's the likely outcome. And that's all we can go based on, but we can't guarantee anything, which just makes this such a suck story. No guarantees. Ew, who wants to live in a world with no guarantees? Ugh. Find some I mean, I suppose there are some guarantees. You can guarantee being evil. Being evil is really easy. So, so yeah, you can do that with a fairly high rate of success. But being good, complicated. Medication, something that just completely disabled. Okay, so yeah, just talking about again about how tough the decisions are. So like if you were responsible for how we fight malaria, and you're responsible for the $2 billion we're going to spend, and you want to spend it just right. It's really complicated. Do you take care of the victims now? Do you take care of the victims 5 years from now, or do you try to do the long-term thing, where you could piss away the whole $2 billion and not make anything any better? Complete failure. Should you risk complete failure for complete success? Very difficult to answer those questions. Very difficult. People just break it. It's like you're making all these little glass. Oh yeah, so it's just, even communicating is so difficult because all the little hatchet, sledgehammer morons are out there. Just trying to break anything anybody makes. Anybody tries to do anything constructive, there's just some asshole who's going to turn it into shit. And it's this tiny percentage of the mess makers. But it's so easy to make a mess, right? I mean, polluting the environment's really easy. Dump the dioxin in the Great Lake. Billions of dollars later, to clean it up. I mean, it just sucks that this is how the world works. Universe coming from no source, it just happens to be in the universe. So this guy's trying to make perception in individual brains not a reality, and somehow we don't individually perceive anything, and the universe has a perception field. The perception field is really doing the perceiving, and we're just some sort of make-believe thing. I don't know. It's so mushy you can't make anything out of it. Idea of what it's perceiving to have any meaning. The raw photons just can't mean anything. Yeah, so just an image or just this, knowing something and then really knowing it are two different things anyway, right? You can have all this superficial knowledge of something and it doesn't mean anything, but you don't know what it really is. So my brain just popped into my head a tiger trap, right? I mean, you could look at it and say, well, it's just fake floor. But there's spikes in the bottom, right? So then now it's a different kind of trap, because now it's not just meant to trap you, it's meant to kill you. So details are important, blah, 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 and we can't know all of those details. And so the whole thing doesn't mean anything anyway, but who cares who's doing the perceiving if the perceiving is shallow and insufficient and incomplete? If we're not seeing it for what it really is, if people are seeing evolution as some little happy cloud circle of life fun story, yeah, I don't think they're getting it. They're missing the daggers in the bottom of the pit. The dark side of the moon doesn't exist because we don't look at it? No, so it's this whole perception. Yeah, again, who cares? All that's happening between us is not the important fact that happens between us, right? Perception, yes, it's important to us individually because we feel. But outside of that, perception doesn't mean anything in terms of communication, because all we're trying to do is communicate the idea of something. We don't need to individually perceive it. We don't both have to see a coffee cup to know what a coffee cup is, because we've already seen coffee cups. We can put them anywhere in space. We can put a coffee cup on the moon. We can do all of that. So it doesn't matter. It's just a concept now. So worrying about how we perceive is stupid, because we perceive by imagining mostly. It's the most powerful tool we have, is making up perception. We don't need the real rabbit in space. We can understand a rabbit in space. Well, sort of. Rabbit in space. There it is, yeah. Why stuff gets stuck in the brain, right? I could put Tyrannosaurus in space. I could have put so many other things in space. Why the rabbit? But anyway, that's what I did. All right, so we'll skip ahead because we're already done rabbit. There's... I don't know what
That's not actually how it works. Here's how it actually works.
So he's not going to be talking about anything that actually works. This is just such a pile of crap.
Number one, there is no objective external material world.
All right, so right there you're just saying, well, what the fuck are you talking about then? Why are we bothering? Oh, it's a matrix. Well, who cares? It's a really good matrix. It's complete enough Why should I make a distinction between it being a matrix and being a physical reality? What's the difference? How exactly does that change anything that matters? Does it change how I feel? No. Does it change I have hairs growing inside my ear, which is really annoying? Does it change any of that? No. So what good is this information? Of what value is it? Of how does it make anything any different? Oh, that's right. It doesn't change anything, so who fucking cares? Only a lunatic would waste any time worrying about how many layers of matrix we're in, or whether there is such a thing. It just couldn't matter, because it wouldn't change what we're perceiving, for fuck's sake. Anything but trapdoor, 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 trapdoor. What's there to follow? Ah, yeah, so you follow me, he said something like that. I was like, there's nothing to follow. I mean, you start with a ludicrous first statement. There's no three-dimensional universe, and there's no this, and there's no, you know. Well, forget it. You don't have any evidence for any of this theory. You know, forget it. Why would I follow this? I might as well follow anybody talking any babble about any totem pole on Earth. They could just say, well, this is the totem pole of the god Hugaga. And he once, you know, gave a rabbit a carrot. And the rabbit was forever grateful. And so he has special rabbit powers now. Because the rabbit let him have the special rabbit powers. And he can hop very high. And that's incredibly powerful power. Hopping very high is very, very useful. So you better pray to this totem pole, because he's very hoppy. Fuck. World your tentacles can reach. And again, yeah, so perception really is just about finding stuff. And we have super powerful tentacles of imagination that can actually see things billions of light years away. We can touch, okay, with our tentacles, things that don't really exist, and we can touch things that we can't physically touch, but we can touch them in every other way that matters to perception. That is, we can interact with them as if we did have physical contact. We can know them just as much as we can know something 1 foot away. I can see a pair of scissors. I can know a pair of scissors in the lunar module thingy still left on the moon, where they left behind some crap because it was not needed anymore. In the bag of crap they left behind, there's a pair of scissors. I can interact with those scissors just as real as I'm interacting with these scissors. In a sense, in my brain, they can be just as real as each other. Knowledge gives you better tentacles. I mean, you can, yes, exactly. Yeah, it's almost as good as better other things. Anyway, okay, we'll see how I finish. Anyway, so, nice, and finish the same way I always finish. So, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, another video. Talking to humans. Jeez. It's just so, in some ways, highly unrewarding. But anyway, you know, in like every category. But anyway, you gotta do what the program commands. That this is something, you know, maybe potentially positive. I just can't know exactly. But, you know, it's better than just pulling out a knife and stabbing shit. So, I mean, it's better than that. So, we'll see. Over time, maybe this will have some sort of value. Blah, 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 blah. But anyway, it's the best I can do, apparently, at this moment. Maybe next week I'll be just completely, you know, I'll have it way, you know, more perfected, and every word I say will be bang, 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 you know, just so powerful. But, yeah, that hasn't happened yet. Yeah, I'm not that good at speaking the language of persuasion. So, I have to work on that. And such. So anyway, so that's enough of a video, I think. I did my job, blah, blah, blah. So I'll try to do another one of these this week, so that'll be on the website, and maybe we'll do 3 parts on this guy. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We already know the theme, right? So we already know that he's doing an hour and a half of babble about some kind of notion that you somehow become more actualized by imagining that you aren't a machine thinking, and that somehow you're just part of a field that's making thinking bubbles, and that the thinking bubbles... I'm done. What is how could the thinking bubbles mean anything? What the hell use are thinking bubbles? Yeah, no use at all. Anyway. So, till the next time, and such and so forth and whatnot. I think it's a pretty good video, frankly, so I think it's probably worth watching, but, you'll have to... Your own impression will be your own impression. I can't do much for you. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, so this has been Google is Evil. Just remember that. DoNotGod.com video presentation. There's also the Ephilist.com and Ephilism.com. And there's other stuff, but nobody has any interest, so it's just hard to have any enthusiasm to maintain anything because nobody shows much interest, unfortunately. But anyway, working on it, and I'll continue to do so until dead. So, till the next time and such. If I'm not dead, I'll probably be here and such, so forth and what.